How do you call a system of rigid social stratification that is like this based on one's ethnicity? This is the US. We might not want to call it that way, but the reality is that in this country, the color of your skin and who your parents are determinants of what your place is going to be in that pyramid. My project has been to look at one of these groups in the bottom, Latinos or Hispanics, and specifically look into the challenge that immigration and education what happen when it comes together. We're going to start in high school because Silvia covered the rest. High school dropout rates for Latinos are the highest among all ethnic groups, with 12% compared to, for example, 5% of whites. And are the ethnic group with the lowest higher educational achievement, and only half of this percentage is actually a bachelor's degree. The question thus is, how can we increase access to higher education for Latinos or Hispanics? And more specifically and more complicatedly, how can the Mexican consulate increase access to Mexican American and Mexican origin youth in Northern California? My project has been about equity to access to higher education. And I'm going to take a moment just to bring you all back to when you were sophomores in high school. Was college expected from you? Who helped you figure out which colleges to apply to? Did you have to do SATs, ACTs? What's the difference? Who paid for them? Did you graduate meeting all of the requirements that you were supposed to be meeting? When you got accepted, who went for financial options with you? Now, let's move on to the Mexican American or Hispanic stuff. What if you're not even expected to go to college? Absolutely not. What if no one that you know and trust has gone to college, so you have no one to ask for any advice? What if not even your guidance counselor at school thinks you're college material, so you cannot reach out for help there? What if your parents cannot proofread your essays? What if your parents cannot even send financial information for you to get like a needs-based scholarship? It's not easy. And by looking at this complexity, I decided to embrace it. And I used a systems thinking approach to actually try to understand the process through the student's perspective. This was informed by an extensive lit review and interviews not only to experts, but most importantly to students themselves, both in high school and in college. And what it allowed me as well to do was to incorporate my client, the Mexican consulate, into the bigger picture, which of course, no one was mentioning the consulate within their list of things that they would have wanted, right? Yeah. So, surprise, surprise, there are a lot of things that a student needs in this process. The enemies, or the constraints, are our favorite enemies. The capitalism, the education system, Mexican history, corruption in Mexico, Trump, you name it. We can pick our favorite enemies to blame for this. But the reality is that there are every year students that are making it through this whole system and actually not only accessing college, but successfully building a career for themselves. Just to give a couple of examples, one of my interviewees was a son of a gang leader and a drug addict. He's going to be a sociologist very soon. Another interviewee, he actually dropped out of elementary school back in Mexico to work the fields before he migrated undocumented to the US. His teachers in the US would constantly tell him he had a dumb sign on his forehead. He barely graduated high school. He's actually now about to graduate from UC Berkeley in media studies. So what do these students had happen for themselves that actually made them overcome all of these barriers? What is the positive deviance? I'm calling it a believer. These students, it's not about being smart or having the best network or the best resources, but about feeling special, feeling worth someone else's time. Knowing that someone that you respect is willing to invest time in you, and also that truly believes you can make it. So it's more about what others believe you can do than what you believe you can do yourself, because that's what convinces you. Of course, this doesn't eliminate all of the other very structural parts of the system that are very much needed, but no one was really looking at this. I didn't read about a believer in any of the lit reviews. And yet, this believer took very different forms, from a mentor, to a teacher, to a parent, to even an older peer. The thing that they had in common is that they gave faith and they had expectations from that particular student. But now, how can we make all Latino or Hispanic students or Mexican American students feel special, feel like they are the chosen one? How can this feeling be scaled? And how can the Mexican government scale it? Welcome to development practice. Okay. So, I found a hint from the promotion of Mexican American studies in high schools. Actually, Tucson, Arizona had a Mexican American studies program that proved not only graduation rates increased, but also grades along other subjects increased for Latino students. This not only builds on the pride of being Mexican American, but it aligns with many of the things that I had actually been finding on the lit review, which were the context of reception and how much that affects a Hispanic family, the mode of integration that parents promote for their children, sort of like, no, don't speak Spanish, only learn English type of thing to better adapt. If we promote more pride among being Mexican American, it is believed that more people will still keep the best things of both cultures and have that to move forward. Additionally, in elementary school, the academic achievement is not that big. It's when identity crises begin. And others speak about bicultural identities and teenagers being especially rough. So you don't know what group you belong to. So being proud of the group that you identify with, knowing that not because you're a Latino, you're supposed to work the fields, or not because you're a Latino, you're supposed to work at a restaurant or become a gang member, that is possible through promotion of pride and Mexican American culture, which is now more and more thing. Most importantly, the Mexican consulate is also working on similar issues, so this is an effort that is not foreign for my client. And it can bring together not only their educational and community areas, but also their cultural areas, because lack of people is definitely something huge that's happening for my client. It's of course just like an initial view, and it has more things to look into, but hopefully by looking further into this, we can make those income levels converge and avoid having a caste-like system where a couple of ethnicities or races are the low class forever.
Based on what you found, why do you think Latinas have such a high graduation rate relative to males in general?
Yeah.
It's even higher than Caucasian. It's lower than Asian males, but much higher than Caucasian males.
Yeah, that was very interesting to read. So for those that didn't hear, Latinas, so women, are having better graduation rates than men, and that speaks a lot of what also Silvia was mentioning towards the social and family pressures about being male and about having to provide financially for the family. So that means having to provide financially immediately after high school and not having that other option. They're also more prone to going into gangs.
The other thing is that they tend to go to schools closer to where their parents live, as opposed to males will move much further.
When you look at data in more granularity, also even that percentage that is making it to college, most of them are not choosing the best universities or the best community colleges, but are choosing the ones that are nearby, which is also hindering their development. And there's a whole homesickness and staying at home type of culture, and even parents being afraid of what happens in US colleges. But yeah.
I would like to hear more about what you are going to recommend to the consulate and the next steps within your research. You said probably what could be done to scale, what can they do?
Yeah, so they are already, the things that they already do around education are programs that were designed and are sort of managed in Mexico, and then they are just communicated to the population through the consulate. So the consulate has never had really a project of their own regarding education. So, and they only have bits of people that are working around it. No one is full-time dedicated to education. So they have that huge challenge in human resources. They also don't have additional money to dedicate to this. But what they do have is not only this community/education part, but also a very strong cultural development side of the consulate. And the consul himself, it can be sort of an actor that can navigate through the levels where you can actually lobby and push and start promoting for something such as Mexican American Studies programs in some school districts.
In addition to the Mexican consulate, I'm wondering if NGOs and the media or organizations of some sort could be effective in changing the culture and the encouragement and positive thinking about Latino students. I'm especially thinking of the success that Cuban Americans have compared to Mexican Americans in terms of education.
Yeah, of course. Definitely, like, through the media would be one of the channels through which the consulate would have to sort of like push this as well. There are a ton of NGOs that are doing amazing work around equity for college access. So my belief is that the consulate doesn't either have the resources or the knowledge to actually do what these NGOs are already doing, which is fundamental. That's why I found this like other thing that they can sort of like tap into. But it is worth noting that it's not only like igniting the spark, but it's also a lot of information that has to come next to it. So yeah, the consulate and NGOs that work around this will have to work really closely.
So you frame all of this within a racial perspective, and I'm curious, kind of going back to the framing of your problem in your initial research, if you saw the effect of racial differences within the Latino group. So how did those variations or those forms of difference play out in your research?
Yeah, so sadly, there's no data that differentiates between what race Latinos are. It's only all Hispanic or Latino. You cannot know if that Hispanic or Latino is black, brown, or any other thing. So I couldn't look into that difference in my time.
Thank you.